Yo, what up? A lot of people have been talking about Harvest and you know how they dislike it and whatnot. And I wanted to make a quick video about, hopefully a quick video talking about what I think about the state of Harvest, or rather, why I
can't do this just yet.
often, I'd say most of the time, find it pretty jarring to do. And well, I guess let's get the power level of the craft out of the way first. So. Uh, they nerfed it way more than anyone, well, most of people expected, I'd say. Uh, they nerfed it more than I expected. I'm personally fine with them nerfing it. It's just that they didn't really, I don't think they communicated fairly, telling us that they are going to do that. But personally, like, I played this game before Harvest, it was fine. I can still play without Harvest, fine. But now we have like Harvest in the game without kind of having Harvest, which is kind of weird. It's not like we have it, but we don't. So it's a super weird feeling. But yeah, so that's not my main issue. There's a lot of ways I can see them bringing some of them back without bringing like the absolute crazy power that the Harvest was before. Because previously, when you had Annuls and augments together, it was just batshit crazy, crazy broken. And I'm glad they nerfed that. But I think they, you know, in the usual GGG fashion, they either you have something that we have like power level like here, right? They want to bring it like here. So either the nerf they do is so minimal that they have to do it like 4 leagues in a row, the carrion golem, and it's still like really strong, or they just go and just completely axe it and it just goes way below
My spirit is spent.
what it should be, I guess. Yeah, okay. Let's start with these seeds and their crafts. So this here is a tier C monster. So we have that, and we didn't get a craft. Okay, so that's 1 or 0 out of 1. We don't have any 3 seeds here. I wish I could tell you if these are T3s or these are T3s, but I actually don't remember. But we do have a T3 there. But let's just use the blues as an example. There's 2 T3s here. No craft. So that's what, 3 already? Yeah, 3 out of 3, or 0 out of 3 rather. And then here we have 2 T3 seeds and we have 1 of the crafts. So I think my worst streak was getting, and specifically talking about blue crafts now, because like I said, I don't actually recognize the difference between, like I can't tell which one of them is the T3 and which is T2. But I think my worst streak was 10 or 11 T3s without getting the actual craft. Like I remember fighting like 7 Blister Lords in a single harvest without getting any of the crafts. And it's like the feels bad man moments that the harvest currently provides, which is when you get the, you know, I don't know what this guy is, because I haven't fought it yet. We'll do it in a soon, because we need to talk about other stuff. But it just feels so bad compared to the feels good man moments when you do get the crafts, that I think that the balance there is way off, and it makes me really, I want to do harvest because for me, especially for Soul Self-Fund, it's extremely powerful still. It has stuff that you can't get elsewhere. That's my primary way of getting corrupted essences, by swapping them. Like I have a couple corrupted essences here that I need to change to deliriums, for example. It's still very good at getting high tier oils by upgrading them. Then there's, well, it is the only way of getting the fractured items, trying to get them on the basis that you want. But again, those are like super rare. But yeah, so personally, I would rather them nerf how often these spawn and increase the rarity, obviously the chance for getting the crafts a lot. Like, there's very few things that feel worse than fighting like 5 Blister Lords from a patch and not getting a single craft out of it. It just feels so bad that I think it's bad design from that point of view. I understand it from the balance point of view, and I understand that they want you need to fight them because they're harder like monsters, and they want you to need to fight them, but just the balance there just feels way off. So that was like one of the biggest things for me. And then for the I guess for the next one we'll need to do a patch, so let me just do this quick. So that was total of 5 crafts, right? Hope I don't die.
spirit
It's a
is
pretty
spent.
rhythm map. Okay. There we go. And then the second thing here is these. Reforce, a normal or magic item. This is just blows my mind every time I see this, because, and in a really bad way. Because in order for me to use these, there's two things. I either have to have a, you know, like a full stash up of prepared normal or magic items in order to use these, or I need to carry the items with me whenever I can then get a harvest. So this means that I have to go back to town, because nobody's gonna carry items with them in hopes of getting a harvest, with the exception of maybe using the Zana mod, right? So I can't craft these. Like, I have a crafting tab here. I have 2 normal items and not a single magic item here. I can't craft any of this with this. So if I wanted to craft these, I would have to go to town, pick these items up, scour them, or, you know, preemptively scour like half of my tab for this. And this just means that eventually, if I once forget it, then I'm in the same situation, right? So I feel like they either need to merge these together so you can use these on rares as well, or make it so that you can use these crafts and it just consumes scouring, be it from your stash or from your inventory or something like that. But as it is right now, 2 of the 5 crafts requires me to either have the preset items to craft or something like that. And there are a lot of cases where you want to use, like, you would want to use this defense craft on an item that you can't have a massive amount of items ready to craft. And for example, the shield. This is a Shaper influence shield, and I would want to use all of these defense crafts in hopes of getting like the prefixes on the shield done first, so I can then finish the craft. For anyone wondering, its prefix cannot be changed, and then use one of these crafts and it guarantees the ESL block. So they feel so wasted, that they feel like it's wasting my time on loading screens. Like previously, one of the reasons why GGG reduced the amount of crafts was because people were annoyed that they spend way too much time in a harvest whenever it spawns, you know, diverting from the normal gameplay loop. But now you spend less time in a harvest, but you spend more time off your harvest in a loading screen back to town, because you probably didn't have all the items set up or something like that. And that's just, previously we didn't really care because we had so plentiful crafts that we didn't really need to worry about this for the most part. But now it's just so in your face that it's driving me crazy.
My spirit is spent.
Then another thing is where are you? Yeah, so Annuls. So I guess this goes back to the craft, the power of the craft, I suppose. But it feels like we are in a casino where we have robbed out of chips, right? The only way to really get Annuls, well, obviously you can trade, you just buy them, but there aren't many ways to obtain these. You kind of have to farm a specific region, that is Waldo's Rest, or Harbies, to get Annuls, right? And that's needed a lot to craft. So there's like a crazy balance of not having the Annuls to do the gambling that for the RNG craft, of, you know, trying to remove a mod so you can then multi-mod or whatever. And in the previous, I guess, state, the Annuls were way too good because they were guaranteed, right? So what I would like to see is we like going a bit back up towards the, or I think it would be better for the game. I personally am fine with this, but like for example, we have the Fracture craft that there's 3 different options. There's a annul 1 random mod from an item that has at least 5 affixes. Fracture a mod, and then fracture a mod that has an item that has 3 prefixes. Take one of the prefixes and fracture it, and same for suffix. So something like that to Annuls would be kind of interesting, and that we would then, I feel like we would craft much more that way again. where you had like, let's say that you have an item with four prefixes, sorry, 3 prefixes and a suffix, and then you couldn't, because you can force out the last suffix by doing prefix cannot be changed and scouring it, but the only way to take any of the prefixes is by doing the YOLO Annull, the 1 in 3, or, well, it's actually 1 in 4, unless you use, well, yeah, it's 1 in 4, and then there's beast crafting for remove a prefix and a suffix, and that's not necessarily a null, it's transferring a mod to another mod, right? So a way to take one of the suffixes or one of the prefixes would be out, or just having a higher chance of removing a suffix or a prefix. It doesn't even have to be guaranteed to remove it. It's just like the lack of annuls in the game feels really bad, I'd say. And then I think that's most of it. But yeah, in order for me to actually use this, I know how to go back to town and then either scour 2 items or pick one of the item with me. Usually I have scourings with me, so that's having the scourings with you isn't a problem. But it's just, yeah, it's in a sad state right now. I feel like it's already longer than I expected it to be. But yeah, that's how I feel about Harvest right now. I hope we'll get some changes to it in the next league, because I don't expect them to do anything about this in the current league. But yeah, here's hoping that they revisit this a bit, but I'm a bit doubtful that they'll do that. Yeah. Either way, see you in the next one.